Yeah. He is no pushover. And at only age, what is he now? 17?
4?
18? 4? He is going to be a force not just now, but a force for years to come if he keeps it up. So I'm really looking forward to it. Let's intro our players here on Eternal Empire, and then we can talk about Cougar being a cheeky chappy already. Spawning in the bottom left-hand side in the blue, representing the 3D clan and Russia. It is our Protoss representative. His name is Cougar.
And his opponent, representing the legendary Horses and Team Liquid, he is the Red Terran player from France. We all know him. We all love him. It's Clem. With a happy little star. That little star, honestly, it makes my day. Every time. It's adorable.
Did I tell you that one of my viewers gave me a donation to buy one of the Carbot Zergling plushies?
Have you got it? Have you bought it?
No, it's ordered it. I haven't received it yet, so I'm very excited about that Carbot stuff. But yes, more important than Carbot plushies right now, I thought this was going to be a Max Pax build out of Cougar as he sent out that very first probe. And I thought, okay, forward pylon, gateway down, zealot out to slow down the command center on the low ground. Typical Max Pax, which is still an aggressive build, but not the end of the world. But this, holy crap, from Cougar, double proxy gates.
Yeah, so we should see 2 Zealots, and then we're immediately going to see a Cybernetics core as the first gate finishes. The Gateway will be finishing very, very shortly, and we will be seeing a Cybernetics core to be followed up with Stalker. What Clem needs to do is he needs to, of course, establish this, and he is scouting, albeit a little late, but he needs to figure out what's going on. We should see, double Zealot straight away, and then the follow-up will be Stalkers, Adepts. I very much doubt we'll see a Sentry. Clem going for that expansion on the low ground. Still no idea, really. The worst thing we can see from Clem right now would be the really quick 30C. Oh, he's scouting something. Clem's, I think he might have...
go for it. I was just about to say, these players are
so good.
If you guys don't play a lot of StarCraft, you might be thinking, whoa, Clem is map hacking. How could he possibly know that Zealot was up there? Why would he send his Reaper up north? There are so many things. These players crank out so many hundreds of thousands of games a month, a year, that they can tell when the slightest difference in their opponent's build is going down. And Clem, of course, saw that probe hanging out for a little bit too long outside his natural, saw the scouting pattern is very unusual, and is able to go ahead and see that, see where those gateways are, get a good beat on what's going on, and already we see that bunker almost finished up on the low ground as another Zealot comes in. But as you said, Stalker coming up next from Cougar.
Yeah, and this gets scary for Clem because he's already lost a couple of workers, and you may think, it's only a couple, but that's still not good. He needs every worker he can get to either buffer, if worse comes to worse, or just to get the money so he can get more units. The Stalker going to take a bit of a battering from these units here in the bunker, but the CC, it is going to finish. That's so big from Clem. He shouldn't have been able to get that finished, and now he can immediately turn it into an orbital, giving him those extra resources, those extra... mules that can be dropped, everything that he needs. This bunker going to be pounced upon, but right now, it's looking pretty good here.
Sorry to interrupt again, but beautiful bunker placement there by Clem, able to nail those stalkers down on the ramp over and over again. We're going to see him take out one stalker immediately. These are these little tiny money moves that Clem is making that just put him head and shoulders above so many other Terran players. Absolutely gorgeous. The natural orbital command finishing up. The bunker's full now. Clem in a pretty decent spot, but Cougar is not all in here, and look at what he's building behind this.
Yeah, behind this we see the Void Ray production has begun. Clem has not been able to establish this yet, but what he has done is he's already started a Cyclone. Perfect. He's getting a starport as well. So Clem hasn't been massively thrown off. He knows, because he had an SCV there, that there's no natural. And what is the natural follow-up to this? Typically, it is, in this stage of the game at least, Void Rays or Proxy Robo maybe, but it's something of which he's going to need units. This Reaper is about to cause havoc as well. Battery going down, but it's so late. Workers will definitely die, be forced to micro. All Clem needs to do is survive in the front. Where is the Cyclone right now? Okay, it's down more towards the natural. Workers going down here. A bit of a mistake from Clem. Very so on the old reaction times there, my man. Lock-on comes onto this Void Ray, and that's going to be some hit point damage, certainly. The Void Ray will survive with those batteries, but this is the next very difficult stage of the game for Clem. He has to survive the battery push. He's going to lose this bunker.
Looks like he might pulling the mule off the line even to try and get it. He's going to try and drive that Void Ray back with the shield batteries from Cougar in such a good position right now. This surprisingly powerful 1-2 punch from our Russian Protoss player, pressuring both the natural and the main, forcing Clem to lift off here. Oh my god, is Cougar Cougar's in a really good spot right now. Oh,
not so much now. That was an essential unit. A Stalker as well. I really can't be losing these units. If he'd have kept them alive, I'd have been all aboard the hype train. But now I think Clem will probably even be comfortable enough to go back down to his natural pretty soon. He did lose the bunker, which is annoying. We can see here Cougar is looking to try and expand, and should do so with these Brood War probes looking ever so fine. And this is looking pretty good for Clem right now. You can see he's also got the high ground vision. The Void Ray can give that here for our Protoss player, but he's definitely going to lose at least one, probably two batteries here to the lock-ons. Clem's playing this so smart.
Yeah, I love this. You know, Clem doing just everything almost impeccably correctly here. And Cougar, we can't overstate how much the Void Ray loss there was so crucial. Void Rays are one of those units where, you know, they remind me a lot of carriers, where two or three of them are kind of scary, but not that bad. But once you have 4 or 5, units evaporate under those beams. And losing the first one there, really rough. And we can see Cougar eating the loss. He is going to go ahead and cancel out of Void Ray production, try to get some blink on the field. But already the army from Clem, twice the size of Cougar's.
Yeah, Clem knows he has to micro pretty well. He can pull the tank forward and take a more commanding position here, but I think he's worried that the follow-up may be continuing. He hasn't been able to identify if there's more batteries just yet. Now with the tank out, he should start pushing this back. He doesn't want to throw away the units he has. Clem may be playing a little over-safe right now, but I mean, he's up in workers, he's up in army. He's not started stim or anything just yet, but we should see that come in pretty soon. And now Clem going for the push, taking down that proxy pylon, which will supply block Cougar as well. Oh, no, it lives.
Barely lives there. Stalker's going to go ahead and commit, but Blink is not finished yet. Oh, the Widowmine shot on the north, cleaning up yet another Stalker, softening up a few more. And now Clem should rotate a couple units up that north side, the high ground rather, in the main base, and try and take down that pylon if he possibly can. More shield batteries or more warp bins would be really frustrating for Clem to deal with. But as you said, he's playing it safe, which Clem can do because he's so strong economically. His macro just unmatched right now. Dark Shrine on the way for Cougar. Is it going to be enough, Grant?
One behind? No. There is already missile turrets up in position. In the main, none in the natural even, none in the main just yet. We should see one added on before not too long, but I wouldn't be surprised yet. Clem sending even a single marine to get some information, see the natural. He sees the gas. There's no pylon up right now, so we're going to see one. There we go up in the north, never reach shredded west corner. Blink is a bit of a scary zone here for Clem. How many tanks has he got? Has he added a second yet? Oh, it's 3. Okay, no, Blink isn't scary. Yeah. Blink could have been scary, but Clem's too good for it to be scary.
You know, it's really interesting. Clem's doing a really nice balancing act right now. One of the very dangerous things you've got to do against a build like Blink Stalker into DTs is to make sure that your army composition is correct. You can't make just tanks because then you've got nothing on top. And of course, if you don't have any tanks or only one tank, then the Blink Stalkers can blink on top and take down the tank. So while Clem is doing a beautiful job harassing on the natural, taking down 6 probes in the natural for Cougar, he's also doing a nice job balancing, even moving out now to start taking down that pylon, maybe clearing some of this infrastructure on the other side of the map. Cougar way out of position.
Yeah, he is going to go for a big blink forward, but I mean, he just doesn't have enough. Every blink stalker falls, even one of the tanks surviving, and GG! Clem goes up 1 map.
You're absolutely correct. Absolutely correct, Grant, earlier when you said that Clem has the perfect number of tanks. 3 or 4 is just enough. Usually with Blink Stalkers, what players want to do is blink on top of the few tanks, the 1 or maybe 2 tanks, blink right on top, one-shot the tank down. That gets rid of all the splash damage. And then units like Blink Stalkers, which are single target units with a lot of mobility, gain a lot more value in that engagement. As it was, Clem had the right composition, the right position, and even though he moved out and made himself a little bit more vulnerable, Cougar just didn't have enough gas in the tank. Good defense by Clem, but hey, a hell of an opener from Cougar there. We were very scared for Clem for a minute there.
There were a couple of moments. It came down to a small micro mistake, and in games like this, that tiny mistake is what it means. Just losing that 1 Void Ray and that 1 Stalker sounds like, well, 1 Void Ray, 1 Stalker. What the fuck are you talking about, Grant? No, it's massive for these very aggressive builds, with especially with proxy Void Ray into batteries. You need to hit 4, 5, 6 so you can start trading against the Vikings and the missile turrets when they come up, and also not be too scared of Marines, and you just can't lose them because then you just get pushed back. I like what Cougar did. He tried to macro out of it. He tried to go DTs, but Clem was just too prepared. He's too good.
He's just too good. That's going to be the subtitle of his autobiography. Clem, I'm just too good.
Too good, yeah, man.
We'll get into game number 2 here as Clem is hoping to put the kibosh on this series, go for a clean 2-0 map score and a 4-0 map score. We'll see if he can make that happen here. Our next map, Submarine, which is great. We haven't seen a lot of Submarine in this competition yet. In fact, is this the first Submarine we've seen the last 3 days, Grant? I can't remember another game on this map.
That's a very good question, Creighton, also, because I'm not certain of the answer.
We've seen maybe one Submarine game at most. This is phenomenal. I love this map, but the problem with Submarine is, of course, smallest map in the map pool. We'll see who wants to take advantage of it here in game number 2. Spawning in the bottom right-hand side in the blue, representing Russia and Protoss and the 3D clan, it is Cougar.
And his opponent in the top left-hand side here of Submarine, he is the Terran player representing Team Liquid and France. It's Clem.
You know, Grant, I keep pushing for Clem's nickname to become the Little Corporal. I think naming him after Napoleon is perfect. He's diminutive. He's French. He's great at leading armies. I think it's a perfect fit. But for players like Cougar, whose name, if you haven't realized yet,
you don't nickname that,
is a combination of a cougar and a jaguar. Oh. He doesn't need a nickname, does he? He's one of those players like Hellraiser, where you're like, you don't need anything else. It's just that good.
Yeah, it is real good. This game we are seeing standard here. Clem is actually still not choosing to scout. Our Protoss player keeping all of his buildings at home, creating a partial wall off here so the Reaper has to run all the way around and can be trapped a little bit easier. You see some players, depending on the map, try to wall off the actual Reaper cliff. But here on Submarine, it's still not too bad. So creating this wall here, you can just see this now. There's nowhere for a Reaper to get in. It has to run all the way around, and Stalkers are speedy boys. Clem is just trying to be blocked here. Cougar doing a decent job, but is going to eventually be chased away. You don't want to lose a probe. Oh my god.
Very close.
Yeah. And Clem finally getting a scout. He sees a natural in this game. Doesn't even go any further, I believe. Nope, just goes, I'll do. And is going to come home.
Clem really not too concerned, I don't think. After holding a cheese like that, which remember, he didn't scout that early last game. Not until his Reaper popped out did he realize he was being double proxy gateway, which is one of the most aggressive Protoss cheeses just behind a cannon rush. So Clem, obviously cool, calm, collected, under pressure. He's going to open with this Reaper opener. You know, we see fewer and fewer Terran players opening with Reapers against Protoss, specifically, as you pointed out, because those Reaper jump-up spots are so easy to wall off. But I do like Clem getting in here with the Reaper, getting a scout. I might even get a couple probes. Yeah, for Stalker out, though, and that'll drive him back away.
Yeah, you never, as a Protoss player, you don't want to lose one probe. That is your you know, that is your major thought process is, okay, he's here. If you're hiding something, then you know, well, you never hide it in your main anyway. But your main thing is, I shouldn't lose a single probe. I should chase this away with a Stalker or an Adept. And that's that. But losing one, if he loses a second, this is a big problem. Oh, so bad. That's so much time, so much money. That's like 10% of his economy already gone. And, you know, if you take 10% of the GDP, you're going to get a third? No.
Oof, almost. Barely sniped there. But yeah, two SCVs quite low, or two probes rather, quite low. And behind this, Clem, just executing very well. So, you know, we have... I feel like sometimes people are like, oh, the commentators are overhyping this stuff, but really,
it's so big.
It's these little tiny things in StarCraft that make such a big difference, and that's just a brilliant opener from Team Liquid's Clem. Clem was picked up by Team Liquid 5-6 months ago, right? Spring of this year, I think.
It feels like it was forever ago, picked up at the same time as Hearthstone. I couldn't tell you. I don't know when anything's happened. I don't know where we are in the year.
I'll check it out here. Matter, but I was just going to point out that Clem is like such a good pickup. He has done nothing but go up from Team Liquid. Picked up in February of this year. My God, this year has flown by.
Yeah.
What a rising star to grab. A great snag by Team Liquid, and he's been putting up incredible results.
Clem, as you are saying, is already building what he needs to build, getting that Raven to deal with any very early Colossus pushes. And we are looking like it could be something along those lines. Prism already on the way, actually. We may just see Disruptor? Yeah, we are. We're going to see Gravitic Drive and Disruptors made here for some Disruptor drops, Creighton.
I love Disruptor drops. They're such a fun strategy.
They're so alpha.
I feel like it's always a little unexpected, you know? Everybody knows that they exist, but it's so rare to see them, especially in competitive play. So Cougar setting up really well for Disruptor drops. Oh my god, he's not doing it. It's not Disruptor drops,
Colossus dropping.
which is the next best thing, right? Colossus
if not
drops.
as good.
If not as good or better. Either way, these Robo Bay unit drops, Disruptors or Colossus, always a little unexpected. And Cougar, most importantly, is doing it right. So many times you'll see this in a Bronze League, well, not a Bronze League game, but like a Diamond League game, a low Masters game, and the Protoss player won't send out an observer to scout where the opponent is. They won't get the Gravitic Drive upgrade. They'll skip something else. They won't macro behind it. But right now, Cougar, adding on the Twilight Council, getting his third Nexus, doing everything right to prep for this. And even though Clem's going to see this third Nexus, he should have no reason to suspect the Colossus drop.
No, unless Clem's been doing his research and hitting the books, he's not going to know that this is something that Cougar does. It is unusual. Now, let's take a look at what is out. There is already a Raven, though, in position. And a Raven is the arch nemesis, the natural predator of Colossi, because the Colossi pops out and he just goes, and then the Colossi is in trouble. So we see the Colossus dropping here. This is good down here on the low ground. The Colossus, of course, giving itself high ground vision. Very nice trades. Tank is going to start firing. Don't want to be taking HP damage particularly, but a great start here. Killing a few Marines. How many went down there? 4. There's 4 Marines, man. Didn't cost him nothing. Well, we should possibly see a disable on the Prism.
That's the thing. The real concern right now is an interference matrix onto the Warp Prism, which would cause the Warp Prism to be unable to load that Colossus back in, which makes it very easy to snipe the Colossus down. Luckily, Cougar playing it safe, getting up and out, eating a lot of hull damage on the Warp Prism. Clem diving pretty deep, wasting a lot of Raven energy on those 2 auto turrets, but luckily, Cougar just out of range, able to escape with about half health on his Warp Prism, and both players still in a pretty good spot. I don't think either player really won or lost that harassment.
No, it was nice. He killed a good chunk of Marines. He forced Clem to sit back on his haunches for a while, which is exactly what you want. You don't want Clem moving out and dropping everywhere this early, because you're going to fall behind if he's allowed to do so. Prism is still going to continue looking here. We have a nice Marauder split. It's cute. Oh my god, you're not getting a shot off there, mate. Good effort. Clem moving to intercept here, but I mean, the Gravitic Drive Prism is a Ferrari. Just like Void Race. But we do have, this is so good from Clem, the first harassment coming in, and it is that Raven using those auto turrets to get some damage down onto the third.
Yeah, and again, you may be like, oh, it's only two probes have gone down. That's not that many. And you're right, it's not. Now that Cougar's up to 53, it's not massive damage, but it's just frustrating enough that Cougar has to stay back home. He's got to commit those resources to making sure the drop doesn't happen again. He's got to constantly be checking that third base to see if there's an auto turret down, and this gives Clem the opportunity he needs, the window he needs, to move across with a very strong +1 push.
Yeah, army supply massively in favour of the little Frenchman here as he moves in. We do have a good Colossus count ready out. No Zealot charge or anything though, so the buffer is quite low. There's one Immortal here. Once that goes down, what is left? Okay, a second Archon even coming in. The Colossus need to juggle. They need to juggle well. Some nice tank shots coming in, but it actually looks like Cougar is doing a decent job here. As the Immortal goes down though, what's left to protect these Colossus? A Prism.
This is such a classic mistake that Protoss players make, and I try not to rag on them too much because managing a Protoss army composition is so difficult. But Cougar has fallen into the classic Protoss trap of only making fun units. There are no Zealots and no Stalkers in it. All he's made are Archons, Immortals, and Colossi, and that's great. They're very dangerous units, and the initial pushes are going to look very good here. He's going to feel like he's in a good position, but once the reinforcements are here, the Zealots are going to go down. The Colossus trapped in the Warp Prism now. Colossus 1 going to go down quite soon as the shield battery's done, and I just don't see Clem getting pushed back any further from this attack.
No, Clem's doing a good job, but he's not going to be able to kill Cougar just yet. Clem's actually almost parade pushing at this point, bringing all of his units. The battery's starting to run very low on energy. I would have liked to have seen Cougar add on a couple more. He needs to be a bit safer here. This is nice from Clem as well. There is a cannon, an Archon, and a couple of Warpins coming in, so no damage going to be done here. Cougar's defending well.
Did you see that pickup from Clem? He timed when the second siege tank shot was going to be. Picked up his bio just before the second siege tank shot landed, and the second siege tank shot picked off that Zealot. This boy is on fire. An unbelievable push from Clem right now.
Yeah, he's doing a really good job. The Prism too far forward. It is going to go down, and that's the saving grace of this Colossus right now gone. There is nothing that's going to be left to save him, and as that tetrapod or whatever it is goes down, we now see Clem in a more commanding position. Zealot's doing a good job as Zealot charge has now finished. Starting to soften Clem up a little bit, but Clem still has nearly twice the army supply. He just needs to get it together, and that's what he's falling back to now.
Yeah, exactly. Cougar did push him back. That gives Cougar a bit of breathing room, but of course Clem able to now reinforce with the rest of his army. His Viking count getting scarier and scarier. Still only making one Viking at a time, so he's not overcommitting. And actually, I think Clem realizes that, yeah, hey, wait a minute. I need to get up to a full army supply and then push across the map. Gonna take some time, recollect his army, and then push across again.
Yeah, Clem adding in Ghosts, adding in lots of Marauders, getting a second eBay as well. Right, that is a second. Yeah, second eBay as well. I was a little bit concerned he was adding a third eBay then. But no, Clem doesn't make mistakes like these commentators do. And Clem's really powering up now. Has he thrown down a fourth CC yet? It doesn't look like it, but I'd expect to see that being built in between the natural and the third in not too long, or maybe in the main if he wants to be a bit safer. Clem still looking for damage here, even just getting a probe, just one Marine, this Hero Marine, stopping the expansion going down. And you can see Clem moving to the north where there is a Zealot run by, but just knows. Just like, I wonder if there's a Zealot run by.
Gonna catch on. This is ridiculous. I mean, I accused Clem of having map hacks in game 1, but this is just insane, Grant. He is so freaking good at this game. It is unfair to the rest of us. Now, the good news is for Cougar that he's had these Robo Bays up for almost the entire game, right? Open with the Colossus drop. It gives you access to that tier 3 technology right away. So it does mean he's going to have more Colossi than you would normally expect for a player who's eaten this much damage. I mean, look at the resources lost tab right now. 7,600. Resources lost there for Cougar, and Clem's going to force him to rotate around, and the Bio Army now pushing out. Clem looking to go for a really concerted push here. Ghosts in the mix as well.
Yeah, and now Clem doing the Hero Marine special. He's brought all of his reinforcements, his reserves into the action. He has Ghosts in the front. We do not have enhanced shockwaves yet, so these Ghosts only with the little diddy area of EMP, but I mean, as long as Clem can dodge some Purification Navas, he'll be in a great spot. God damn. That looks so good.
Yep, and as you said, of course, the advanced shockwave is not done, which means the EMP radius a bit smaller, but in the hands of a player like Clem, it doesn't matter. He is so precise with those Ghosts. He is so good. Look at that.
Right in the middle.
Gorgeous splitting. Clem doing everything right now. 115 army supply to 70. Even without the tanks in this fight, Clem's doing so well.
Yeah, and Clem's reinforcements moving across the map. The parade push that is so fondly known here from Terrans. We see a flank coming in here from some Zealots, and they're doing a decent job, but there's so much bio. And now it looks like maybe, just maybe, our Protoss player is a little bit too far from home. He will lose at least one Disruptor. The one in the back is standing strong for now, but it is going to be targeted down. And now that Purification never gets cancelled. There's just Stalkers left, Creighton. A few Zealots coming in from the south side. Maybe a hold will come in here. Vikings landing. I just don't know. Look at the supply. GG.